This is a poem by Rudy Francisco called Good Morning. Get out of bed. The day has been asking about you. It dragged the sun into your room this morning, pulled an entire disco of light through your curtains, hoping that all of this gleam would be enough to get your attention. This is how today says, notice me. Hello, and thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. My name's Miguel, and I work at the downtown Olathe Public Library. The last couple weeks, we've been talking about journal writing and letter writing as a way to practice mindfulness, grounding, and emotional resilience. Today, we're going to be talking about poetry. We're going to use poetry as a way to discover the world around us and within us, and as a way to practice setting boundaries. But before we begin, I'm going to ask you to breathe. Today, we're going to be using the 4-7-8 method, which have been found to help people with reducing anxiety and getting more sleep at night. What we're going to do is we're going to inhale for 4 seconds, hold that breath for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8. I'll do it with you. We'll go in, hold, exhale. How do you feel? Before we write, the first part of your exercise will actually consist of you picking out your own writing boundaries. I will provide a prompt, but you will choose what writing rules you are going to abide by. Poetry is one of my personal favorite genres to work in, but it's also a very broad genre. That means some forms of poetry are much more approachable than others, and no two people will ever write or feel comfortable with the same form. I want you to focus on a form or a rule set of poetry that you are either good at or feel familiar with. Now, you will set 2 to 5 limitations for yourself. No more than 5, no less than 2. Take about 10 minutes to jot down any ideas you have for what those boundaries on your own writing should be. They can be as simple or as complex as you wish them to be, but make sure that they are very specific. For instance, maybe you want to write a sonnet or a sestina. Or maybe your boundaries are that you are writing in an A-B-A-B pattern and that you only have 20 minutes. You can even write in free verse, so long as you first come up with at least 2 boundaries to guide the process. Remember, even though many of us are inside our homes right now, we still need to be intentional with setting boundaries. Not all boundaries are physical. Make sure that when you're setting these writing boundaries to set emotional boundaries as well. This might mean that you'll have to tell yourself to not write or talk or think about some certain topic. This is good practice not just for writing, but for daily living. After all, we are most equipped to love those around us when we're first taking care of our own health. Okay, so you have 10 minutes. You can start working on those rules whenever you're ready. Okay, so now that we have those rules in place, we can prepare to write. I have 3 prompts that you can choose to use, or you can use your own. The first prompt is to write about someone you love and respect, but don't necessarily always agree with. Write about what makes that person unique from everyone else you know. About why you love and respect them. About specific memories that you share with them. The second prompt is to write about your name. Do you like your name or do you dislike it? Maybe it's a mix of the two. Have you ever changed your name? Did it make you feel like you were missing something when you did? Write about what your name means to you. Not just a dictionary meaning, but the meaning that you personally derive out of it. Our third prompt is a little bit more conceptual. I want you to write about stillness. Maybe this means writing about a pond. Maybe it means writing about a place that you used to frequent, or about the passage of time or the appearance of something staying still. Whatever you choose to write about, try to find connections between the topic of stillness and your own body. So to recap, you can write about someone that you love and respect but don't necessarily agree with. You can write about your name, given, chosen, or otherwise, or about the idea of stillness. You can start writing whenever you're ready. Before we end, please breathe with me one more time. I'm going to do the 4-7-8 method again. Go in, hold, and out. I hope you are all safe and loved. As always, feel free to share these exercises and comment below if you have any of your own writing you'd like to share or any tips for your own self-care. As always, if you have any questions, we are more than happy to help. Thank you so much for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next week with more writing for self-care.